And now for your listening pleasure, straight out of Milwaukee, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hip or Critical, with your guides, Alexa MKE and Shock the MoKE, where we praise or vent on all things that in the end just
Just don't
don't
matter.
matter. But some things matter to me today.
Why? What's going on?
No, I'm just saying some of these things matter to me that
Oh,
we're going to
well,
talk
yeah.
about.
Well, if they didn't completely matter, we wouldn't talk about them. But they're just not things that I think
They
people
matter to
are.
me.
They're not earth shattering. So yeah. So here's Lito. He is being needy cat right now. Just so everybody knows, I got my needy boy.
Again, apologize if our lips are off from the audio. Maybe you should put your face in front of the mic the whole time. We should just so it doesn't look like it's, you know,
Oh, like you're doing?
yeah, just
Okay,
hide
yeah,
behind the
that's
mic.
weird. Oh, look at the handsome boy. And of course, I'm talking about Dave,
The
not the
cat,
cat.
yeah. Hey,
Dave,
when you have pets, when your spouse walks through the door and says, "How you doing, honey? Oh, cutie pie, where are you at?" It's about the animal, not you.
oh, Roger always greets the kitties first, just so
Yeah.
you know.
The
So
first
yeah,
lows are never for the humans.
yeah, no, they aren't. So anyway, Brewers.
Oh my gosh, what a letdown that was. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know it was bad.
Jeez. Oh,
It's like
I,
I.
I, I don't I don't even it's like just I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm moving on. That's 4 years in a row they've done this, already. I'm used to them now, whatever. It's just
Four
the
years in a
Packers again.
row. It's like every year. I
Yep.
mean,
Well, that they've been in the playoffs,
oh, well,
now,
yeah.
playoffs. So, and you get used to it with the Packers. And again, it's, unless you're going all the way, I'm not buying the shirts, just for winning a pennant, or a little pennant. No, no, you don't get that.
Yeah, but they're doing well, 5-1. So we're gonna be happy with the Packers right
Oh
now.
yeah, and did you did hear the quote they
Oh
played it over.
yes, yes.
I
I
replayed
still
it.
own you.
And there was a friggin' in there. And when we were watching the game, I'm like, listen to him. What's he saying? And
I know Roger was doing the same thing. I'm like, oh no.
Chrissy's next to me, and I rewound it like 3, 4 times. I'm trying to listen. I go, he's saying I own you. I still own you. And she goes, no, it's like I love you. And I go, well, okay. I looked at Chrissy. I'm like, all right. Between Karen Rogers saying "I love you" to the Bears fans, or "I still own you," what do you think it is?
she thought that he was saying I love you.
Yeah, it's like he's like, well,
No.
or I love you, And I go, no, that's I own you, and I was
Yeah.
on that right away. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. No.
Karen
No.
did good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Squid Game. You're watching that.
I did. I burned through it in 2 days. It's like 9 episodes, I think.
What'd you think? Because I haven't watched it yet.
It's worth watching.
Okay.
It's worth watching. Good characters, acting. This is what you're getting. All right, you're getting Hunger Games plus Survivor with Saw. That's what you're getting.
Ooh, that sounds like
Yeah,
it's fun.
yeah. So yes, very interesting. I thought it was worthy of it, and of course they left the dot 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 at the end of that one.
Well, of
So
course, because they're gonna have another season.
so you're watching Paul Hollywood and the gang.
I am watching Paul Hollywood and Prue and Noel and what's the bald guy's name? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm watching Great British Baking Show. I've seen every season, so this is such a fun show.
Yeah,
Um,
no, no. I've been in. I've watched them. I like watching a bunch in a row. I can't, sit. I gotta watch a season, kind of like quickly or half of it, or. But yeah, it's very interesting. I do like how I think we've talked about. They don't always put the best baker in first place or give them the up. It's who's going outside their comfort, who did a good job, that kind of stuff.
yeah, but Giuseppe got it twice, and that dude is good. He is a full-on baker, so I'm kind of excited to see him.
But remember that short little guy? He was making like birdhouses, and I mean, every time he made something, it
Yeah,
was a work of art, and he didn't win it because they're like, "Hey, you were already a good baker, you know." you
yeah,
know.
I know you say that, but you got to remember what we don't experience is we don't get to taste it. So, and of course, I
Yeah,
wouldn't taste most of it anyway. But there is a vegan baker this year, so and she's been doing okay. I mean, she's been holding her own. The only time she doesn't use vegan things is when it's the technical bake, but all the other bakes she's actually doing vegan stuff, and Paul Hollywood's been impressed.
that's
So
great,
yeah, so I've been
fantastic.
pretty happy. Yeah, and then so that leads me into Iggy's Bakery in West Allis. So, do you remember Rich's House of Cakes? Are they still even around?
I know where Greeby's is.
No, Rich's was over on 27th Street, and my mom really liked Rich's cakes. I was like never a fan, but my husband and I actually went to go get chocolate at Freeze's on Greenfield Avenue because I just wanted a couple of pieces of chocolate, and so they were closed. It was 5 after 12, 5 minutes after noon, and they were closed. Exactly. So we decided, okay, let's go into the bakery, and I like cake. I don't really care about the frosting. I'm all about the cake. And I will say right now,
Boy, we are
Aggie's
so opposite.
Aggie's cakes are the cake part is delicious. Their cakes are moist, flavorful, they're delicious. But frosting, my husband's a buttercream frosting person.
Oh,
I
that's a
don't
good one. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Now, what kind of buttercream do you like? Do you like the sugary like buttercream with sugar, or do you like the lighter whipped kind of cream?
Let me think. Yes.
Okay. Well, then you'll probably like Aggie's Bakery. So my husband is a buttercream guy. It has to be that sugary buttercream. And Aggie's Bakery does a
I want toxic shock when I'm done eating that stuff.
oh, you want the sugar then. So my husband is the frosting guy, and their frosting is that light, fluffy. They call it buttercream, and I'm sure there's butter in it, but it's not. It's not very sweet, and so he was not happy. So I will say that if you like a light, fluffy buttercream and a really good cake, Aggie's is recommended. But if you want the ooey gooey, buttery, sugary, that's not for you.
It didn't work. All right.
No, no. But I will say there was the bonus rude lady.
Oh, yes. There's a Karen. There was a Karen, huh?
Oh, I don't know what she was. She's just a bonus rude lady. So we're standing there, and there was a person in front of us who had come in front of us who was over by the cake display. And said, who's next? And we're like, oh, this lady over here was here before us. So she got taken care of. And then my husband and I are standing there, and this other lady walks in. And then she walks over by the case that we were standing by. And they started getting busy because then another couple people walked in. And so the lady came out from the back, washed her hands, and goes, oh, who's next? The rude lady. I'm next. It's like, really? We were
I
just.
didn't know you were. I thought you were taken care of already. Would you think that, ma'am? You walked in. We didn't talk to anybody. Why would you think that we were taken care of already?
Yeah, well, we're standing there with things in our hand. There's nobody else there. And the other woman is checking the woman out who we, said, okay, go ahead.
Did you
And,
give her a shoot or a look?
oh, damn straight, I shot her
Did
a
you?
look.
Did you say, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey. We were here waiting. We hadn't been helped
No,
yet."
I didn't because I didn't want to cause a scene because I'm just not the type of person to cause a scene, but I should have. And of course, I will say she was not wearing a mask, so she's a bitch.
Well, you got to check them. Just got to check them. You can let them do that, honey. I'm going to let you get away with it this time, but I was here before you. Okay, I didn't see us.
And I know Dave would say that. So anyway, I'm going to reminisce about bakeries because these are bakeries past. So the bakeries I remember are Fall's House of Cakes. Did you ever go to Fall's House of Cakes?
No,
Okay.
no. I guess I not. Baker Square. That's it for
That's
me.
not a bakery. Regina's Bay Bakery. Did you ever go there?
Now that one rings a bell.
That was on Silver Spring. Do you remember that?
Uh,
east of Bayshore. No,
I don't.
but
I make my own cakes. I don't know. Or somebody did, or I get them from Pick and Save. I guess I was never a
Pick and
cakes person.
Save. Oh my God.
Sheet
And
cakes.
then do you remember it was Myers, Mowers, or Muir's, however you said it, on Oklahoma, the original one. Did you ever go
No,
there?
see, no, no.
Oh my God, Dave! And then do you remember Harder's, which was first in Mayfair Mall and then on Highway 100?
Sure, yeah. Well, great old Harders.
Oh my God.
You go in
Well,
there.
fine. Well, what you were missing with Fall's House of Cakes was the delicious cake with the delicious buttercream frosting.
Uh,
Regina's Bay Bakery had the best eclairs, and they actually used creme pat, which is pastry cream, in their eclairs. They were really good.
mm,
Meyer or however you say it, Muir's, Mowers, however people say it, because I've heard it pronounced 17 different ways.
I can go both ways.
Yeah, whatever, but they had delicious bakery. Like all their bakery was really good. I remember that from when I was a kid. And Harder's, oh my God, they had the best rum balls, and they had the best Napoleons or milfoil. That's where they do pastry, puff pastry, and then put again. It's got to be pastry cream, not custard, but pastry cream in between. So
Oh, that
yeah,
sounds really good.
yeah.
No, I
I
never
used to
really
love
got
bakery.
all those, the floofy house of cake places, like Cinnabon. Yeah,
Cinnabon does have the best cinnamon rolls, but
Does
yeah.
anybody have a real bear claw anymore? Don't it? The
No.
one that actually looks like a bear claw.
No, but see, this is where mirrors came in because they did.
See, I've been they just call a cinnamon roll a bear claw now, and I'm like, no, no, that's a Persian, okay?
Yeah, and then they also had and I know my husband really likes cream filled coffee cake. Mirrors had those too. So
Oh, that sounds interesting.
yeah, you've had them. They have them at Century. They'll take like a coffee cake, they cut it in half, and they put buttercream in it. You've never had
I
that?
I don't know that I've had that. Oh,
Oh, go to a Century or like yeah, because they usually
have
get
you
them
you've
for
tried that? Yeah, but you probably didn't know what that. Yeah, that's I talked about it once at
that.
St. Louis butter cake place.
Yeah, I asked you about it because I don't eat dairy
Right,
anymore.
right,
So
right, right, right. It
yeah.
actually now closed. I don't know if I followed up with it. They closed their whole storefront just because of the COVID and everything, and they started doing online orders and getting in with Syndic. So now they closed up the whole thing. They don't even you can't even walk in to pick up an order now because they're just going through Syndics now.
Oh, really? Yeah, because they're still up the street from me. So, I mean, they
The
still
St. Louis
have.
butter cake place,
Yeah.
and it
On
still
Highway
lets you walk
100.
in.
Yeah.
No, that's the one I'm talking about. And Hales
Yeah.
Corners there. It's got the storefront and everything, but you
Oh,
can't
you
even
can't
walk
go
in
in now,
anymore.
huh?
Can't even go in anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Yes, it does.
Aw, I feel for Dave.
Well, you know what it's going to make me do? I don't want to buy Syndic prices on that. It's going to make me make my own. That's it. Screw you. I'm
There
buying,
you go. Find a
you
recipe,
know,
make it, and
I
tell
make
us
my
about
own
it.
baklava and everybody loves it now. Screw them.
Oh, baklava is really good when you make it by yourself. And you can make
Yeah.
it vegan too because phyllo dough is vegan.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. Yeah, but if you add butter to it between the leaves, then it becomes not
Yeah.
vegan.
See,
Yeah.
I've got to do
Yeah, but you can do.
that.
Anyway, I am so hyped for Dune. Are you hyped for Dune?
Oh, yeah, you skipped. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you didn't. Yes. I actually. What did you think of the first movie? Really, when you reflect on it.
I read the books and I thought that
Oh
first
boy.
movie
Then no, you didn't.
it didn't go far enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so cinematically, what did you think of the movie Dune?
Did not work. I mean, if you read the books, it is such a rich world and they didn't capture even part of it.
See, I get another reason why I don't read. I enjoyed the first two movie because I didn't know all that. I enjoyed all the Hobbits. I enjoyed all the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, Lord of the Rings was so good. And I did read those books several times. But yeah, so I'm hyped for Dune. Hopefully, it's going to end where I think it's going to end, and they actually do make the second one. So we will see. So
Dave Buste,
Bautista.
Batista. God, why do I get that wrong every time? Just a mental
Because you
block.
want to say
Dave
Dave
Batista.
Bustier instead
Yeah,
of
I
Dave
do. But why?
Bautista.
Who is that?
I don't know. That's
and,
somebody.
and I also have David Buster in my head,
Oh my God.
So I'm combining all of those things in a
Dave's having
blender.
senior moments over and over again.
But he took the Sting character from the
Yes.
first movie. I saw that. I saw him floating around in the big suit. So,
Oh my God, I'm so
or no, the
excited.
big suit was the ugly guy, right?
No, the
And
big
then
suit is Harkonnen, the Duke.
the Boyle's face
Yeah.
guy, yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, Sting was his lovely brother, yeah.
Yep, yep. Yeah, so I'm hyped. Also, you don't watch anime, do you?
No, but I'll sneak a peek at this. I've actually, been trying to get a little into Morty and Rick and Morty, actually.
So I didn't watch all of Cowboy Bebop when it was first out because I was concentrating more on like the mecha type stuff, but I did do some like adventure. They're bounty hunters is what Cowboy Bebop is, and you would love the intro because it's by the sidewalks. It is this snapping jazz, and I mean it's classic. It's just
Sweet. No, I
yeah.
saw a little article on it, and they brought back a lot of the original voices, I think, for this thing too.
No, they didn't. They've got John Cho as Spike, which doesn't work because Spike is younger. And when I watched the trailer, he's not very Spike-like. And then of course the two actors who are doing the other characters. I'm skeptical because I didn't watch all of Cowboy Bebop, but what I saw from this trailer that they released doesn't seem like it's going to be that true. And it seems a little bit
Mm.
more Tarantino-esque than Cowboy
Which
Bebop.
might not be bad.
Well, it might not be bad if you're not used to it, but if you, it's like one of those things. It's like once you have your, you know, how you think it should be, you're never happy.
Right, 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 right.
When
You
you're,
can't divert on that road.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like a fanboy thing, and then you're like, oh, it's not quite right, and so you can't really get into it. So, I guess we'll see. So, and then you've got only murders in the
Well,
building.
I had to bring this up because again, as they're doing a podcast of the murder because they love podcasts, those crime podcasts. So they're making one of their own about the murder in their apartment complex, and they were talking to someone, and they get picked up by a couple guys in a that were helping them out to tail someone, and they're called dogs or something. I forgot what they was junk dogs or whatever. And he goes, "Oh yeah, we got a podcast. We got 60,000." And they're like, "Whoa," they're listening. And then later they're talking and they're going like, "What do you guys got?" And they go, and they're listening, Steve Martin and them go, I think we got 17, right? Is that good? And the guy's just like, no, 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 it's not.
Actually, 100 is good. That's what I've read. That 100 is good. So we're about, I don't know, about
One,
15%.
one fifth there, yeah.
Yeah, we're 15% of the way there.
So that was kind of funny, but they've got to mention. Somebody mentioned Tina Fey does a Jimmy Fallon cameo. They're watching TV, and she's drops the name of this quirky thing, and these people that are in it, Steve Martin and all these guys and the girl and they kind of laugh about it. And so they think they're going to get yelled at by the guy that's giving them the money and has a chicken plastered across it as the sponsor, right? Only murders in the building, sponsored by Church's Chicken or whatever it
Okay.
was. And so they mentioned they laugh about it, on the TV, and they think they're going to get yelled at by him. And it's like, this is freaking, and I'm sitting there yelling at the screen. I'm looking there, no, he's going to love this. He's going to love this. He's going to love this. And the guy turns around and goes, this is freaking great. My brother's I'm gonna push his nose in it. Jimmy Fallon mentioned my name on TV.
That's
and
funny.
and you because we all know there's no bad press, right?
That's right.
No bad press. And so after that, they're watching. He can't stop looking at his phone to see how many more subscribers keep coming on to onto their podcast now. They're watching subscribers, beep, 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 and
Oh,
he's
so
like,
now I see we got to get Jimmy Fallon to mention our
our
podcast.
podcast. This is something
So
like that.
something
Something
or late night dinner,
easy,
maybe
something like that.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. I'll take any Jimmy.
Any Jimmy. Yeah. Yeah.
Jimmy
Um,
Hoffa. Oh wait, he's dead.
and they were, and we you don't know. And then so it was like one time we were looking at Martin Short, and he goes, the number's not moving. And he goes, yeah, it is. It's gone up. It's just another one. He goes, why isn't mine not moving? He goes, you're in airplane mode. Oh, yeah.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, we've got internet adventures. So Dave, I'm gonna take a rest from Reddit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I really, I really got tired of the clickbaity headlines, and Reddit has been kind of taken over by, spam bots and some trolls, and so it's like, I think I'm done for a while. We'll see if I go back.
Going back over to MySpace then?
Yeah, Tom is my
Tom.
friend. Tom's everybody's friend. So yeah. And I know you buy stuff from Amazon, I buy stuff from Amazon, but I mean, I'm sure you're shocked. Absolutely shocked. Show us your shocked face. Look, he's shocked even before I say it. Amazon puts its house brands first in searches, even above better rated products. Are you shocked?
No. It's a business. We're doing a
Yeah, I
business
know.
here.
And the thing is like if I do searches before I even click Amazon, what I'll do is I'll say, let's say I'm looking for, like, recently I looked for kayak vests. So I look for kayak vests, and I ended up buying from the manufacturer directly.
Right. Who's the name? Now I gotta,
Yeah.
every time I look at something, I gotta say not from China. I can't go. I'm not, because the boat's gonna be sitting outside of San Francisco for 3 months. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, depending on customs or whatever, and again, I end up buying this thing, and it's local, well, not local, but made in the
Right.
U.S. And it's like, well, we're on a back order because we're having supply issues. So I did buy them, and fortunately, the end of the kayak season's over. So I'm gonna wait till the end of the month or next month when I get my kayaks, and we can put everything in the garage and just watch snow. But yeah. So you found an interesting article.
Yes. It came across this, and of course, it belongs on the internet. We'll soon find out. But Randy Bachman of Guess Who, and
Bachman
BTO,
Turner Overdrive.
yeah, taking care of business, man.
Damn straight.
So, as an 18-year-old, he bought his first Gretsch guitar. It's the same kind that Chet Atkins uses and things like that. So it's where he liked it. It was in 1957. He was 18. He was 18 years old. It was $400. Took him forever to get that kind of money together when you're a kid. A buck here, a buck there, but he knew he had to have it. At 18.
That's like months and months worth of money back
Oh
then.
gosh, yeah, a whole summer, whatever, and mowing lawns. That's a lot, you know. So in 1976, it actually got stolen from a Toronto hotel, and he had written, a couple songs, "American Woman" and things. Those early songs were written and first played on that guitar. All right, so there was a guy that had heard was watching some Guess Who stuff and Randy Bachman stuff, and he occasionally talks about how it was gotten stolen, and if anybody could help him find it, kind of like he talks about it a lot. Randy, it's like it keeps it alive.
Okay.
So this guy heard this.
He's like very upset still.
Still, like, hey, I want this back. Yeah, really, it's still in his mind. First girl. So this internet guy, this guy who likes looking at DB Cooper type of things, he says, usually he runs on it like the "don't fuck with cats," kind of people,
Okay.
and so he gets on this thing and he starts going over. He knows 300 some images. He had looked at a video that they had played, the Guess Who and everything, where he could actually see the grain on the guitar. So he knew what the grain even was on the guitar. He did some snapshots so he could do it. And he kept on just looking every time he saw one of these guitars in this color. He kept on looking at it. Finally, he tracked it down to Asia and Tokyo Vintage Guitar Shop, which actually had a picture of it because they were selling it, and it was already
Ah,
sold.
okay.
It had already been sold to a guy, which we told him the guy who it was, and it was just actually this Japanese musician, Takashi, who's actually described as the Brian Setzer of the Japanese world, and he's actually doing some like holiday music with it on a video. So this guy sees the guy playing the guitar on a video, this guy, and so he call. They're both the Canadians. The guess who and those guys are Canadians. So he lives
Okay.
not that far from them. Gets in touch with them. The guy gets on the horn to try to get the talk to the guy in Tokyo. There's a I don't know if someone's daughter knows some Asian, so they go on a Zoom call. They start talking to him. He, starts talking to the guy. Hey, you got my guitar? And he goes, oh, I didn't steal it. And he goes, no, you weren't even alive when it was taken. That's how long ago it was. After he goes, so yeah, he held it up and damn, it was, and it was kept in perfect shape. He said all these
Oh,
years,
that's good because
whoever stole it
yeah.
kept it in great shape. That was all those years between when it finally came up.
Well, and
So
Tokyo's a hot market for vintage guitars.
American
Oh yeah, like a
50s,
huge.
60s guitars.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. American blues stuff, you know. Uh, so he said, what do we got to do to get this thing back? And he goes, I'll let you have it back, but I want one back just like it. He's like, so that's like, oh God, all right. And they're already hard to find. But this guy, Randy Bachman, loves this guitar so much. He actually had 350 that he had not found over the course of this time and collected and actually gave them to a Gretsch family museum in 2008. 350 of
Oh
these guitars.
wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
so he kept on looking, it wasn't one of those, wasn't good enough, and so he kind of looked around, they found one and they looked at the serial number, and it was probably made in the same week as his.
Oh wow. So they were
So
able to get that?
they were able to get that, and they just haven't met up yet to exchange guitars yet. So
Ah, that's kind of a cool thing. So where'd you see that?
I can't remember where it snuck in, where it was, CNN or something, just like, guitar return to, Rockstar or whatever. I'll tell you, this is one place I'm getting a lot of fun news, happier news, just not the drag news, is when you look on your Facebook feed and you hit the news feed on there, there's the interesting stories kind of thing there, so I have picked up quite a few things out of there lately.
That's cool. Yeah, because I'm obviously not a Facebook fan, especially
No, no,
concerning the
no.
recent news where they know that they're doing shit and they don't care.
Mm.
But yeah. So is this critical? Lost guitars aren't critical, but there are other things that are. So you have a couple of things here, Dave.
Just wanted to do a file. Remember we talked about the follow-up file? There ought to be a
Yeah,
TV station.
Dave's follow-up file. We should
Follow
have a
about
thing
the
for that.
follow-up file segment. That fallen lawyer, Murtaugh, who had the fake suicide that was actually trying to be a hit, so he could let his son
Oh
collect
yeah,
10
that's
million.
right. So they
That had
collect the
his wife
insurance.
and son shot on his property. They still don't have a suspect in that, who was part of the reason that it was because there was a boat accident and a woman died and they were tied up. There was a woman. Now here's the latest is that when I had mentioned in another show, there was a housekeeper that had been with him for like 30 years or something like that, and she had a trip and fall accident and
That's
died.
right.
And
Whoopsie.
and and the family, right, and the family never got like any settlement or insurance payout or anything. Well, now it turns out that Murtaugh, that the lawyer had said, go ahead. It was a trip and fall. It'll be easy to prove negligence. Go sue me, and then we'll split the money. And so, but
Oh my God.
somehow he was able to he was able to get with the guy who was issuing the check, the insurance company, and this is still what they're digging into, I'm sure, to cut the check to him when the payout came, and he put it in a separate account and never told the kids in the family and never gave them any of it. even though they had it set up. He actually told them to sue him. He
What
was the one
a
who like brought
dirty
it up, and
bastard.
then so he
Oh
kept
my
that off.
God.
And so they're like, "Hey, where's this money? That we were supposed to get?" You know.
I don't
So,
have it. Oh, sorry.
oh my gosh! And now so that was like 3 million, and now they've got him appropriating funds out of his lawyers area too. Oh, this is not done yet at all. All right. Now on to another of my favorite embezzlers, Farve.
I know. Brett Favre's your
Every.
favorite Packer ever.
Every. All right. Now we remember back when there was a whole bunch of stuff going on down south when they were giving those funds away for disaster, and these people milked it for $10 million. And 1.1 of those $1 million was to Brett Favre for an appearance fee that he never showed at.
I seem to remember something about that.
Right, right. Never showed. And then when was contacted about it? Oh, we never even knew about it. They made this without us. They just gave us the money, and they were just like, well, we didn't know money came somewhere. We're gonna hold on to it till someone gave us, that kind of a thing. But
Oh, of
it's
course.
yours. We didn't know it was all part of this, fraud thing. So yeah, definitely, we'll make it right. So he stroked him a check for a $500,000. All right. And they haven't heard anything from him since. Cue the
Surprise,
crickets. Chirp,
surprise.
chirp, 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 chirp. So so now they have like one of those things where they can actually say hey, 30 days from now, if he hasn't paid up, which is now instead of 600, it's $825,000 because of interest.
That he has to pay back.
Yeah, he has to pay back yet. He says, if he doesn't comply in 30 days, it's up to then the courts to decide what the next step would be. Like
Oh, jeez.
garnishment, arresting him, whatever it
He's
may
got
be.
money. He's got tons of money.
Yeah, he can just go do another copper fit ad. He'll stroke that check for
Yeah, that
that.
crap doesn't work either.
Exactly. Well, copper does nothing. There's nothing that says copper does anything to help you. All it
No,
does
no,
is make
no.
it more expensive.
But a couple guys at work wear those gloves and they say they're super comfortable. So,
No, it's a good glove, but they put copper in it to make it more expensive. The copper does nothing for anything. you
well,
know.
yeah, zzz, zzz, don't stick your finger in a light socket.
Yeah, well, and if you ever, the aliens ever come, oh no, that's on the head, tinfoil. That's right, not copper fit stuff. All right, big yawn. Woohoo!
I know I'm yawning. If nobody can see me though.
All right. So, and then the third in the follow up is Free Britney still happening.
Oh my
I'm
God,
still
Dave's
watching this.
Dave's gonna dish on Brittany.
I'm still watching this. Of course, she did a very vague book, Insta vague, whatever you want on Instagram, Insta vague. Oh, if I ever get to have an interview, I'm gonna light it up for the family. Just threatening them more or less. The family that if she gets there's a mic in
Hey,
front of
let's hear
her,
some truth. I want to
you
hear
know,
some truth.
from Brittany, right? And then she has a picture also of her tree is up already, her Christmas tree.
I know people
Oh,
who keep
start
Christmas
celebrating
trees up
now.
year round, and one of the designers I used to work with at a local flower shop, he used to put up 7 Christmas trees in his house. 7, like full size Christmas trees.
Right, right. One in each rooms. I know people had the upstairs
Yeah.
one and the
Yeah. So
downstairs one.
I'm not gonna dish on Brittany for Christmas tree ever because there are
Yeah,
people
and
who
because you thought
love
all those
Christmas
people that
trees.
did that were just perfectly normal to do that. Have a Christmas tree all year round,
Why
have one in every
not?
room. That's normal,
You know
yeah.
what? It's fun.
Yes.
Do you go in those Christmas stores when you go on vacation in the middle of July? I do. So
You
they're
ever been to
fun.
that one in Fond du Lac, that Christmas shop?
Yeah,
That
I've been in
one?
that one. That's a nice one.
Is it? Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
it
what it looks
is.
like? If I walked in there, you know what that looks like? Every basement of every estate sale I've been to. That's
Actually,
what
it's not. It's
that.
beautifully decorated, and the people are very nice there. So highly suggest you go to the Christmas chalet in Fond du Lac. Dave's dishing. Okay, so you got one other thing.
All right. Did you check this out? The DART double asteroid reduction test.
Yes, I saw that. It sounds really interesting. This is gonna be.
It's the movie Armageddon or whatever, where we got to push a piece of rock out of the way before it hits us.
Yeah, but if we get something that actually works, it could work.
But isn't this also how disaster films start? You know, like
Yes.
we're out there. Yeah,
Yes.
we're just gonna test this thing out. We're gonna just push it a little bit, and now it starts screaming at
And
us
now
for
it's
some
tumbling
reason.
at us at an
Yeah, it's
exponential
like,
rate.
wow, the thing was a success in one part. We did hit the object. We did change its
We have
path.
good news. We have bad
Yeah.
news.
What do you want first? There's 48 hours left. Bye. There'll be no questions.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, but by that time the rich people will have built the Elysium above the earth, and they can just go up there and not worry about it. So
Elysium, yeah.
yeah,
Well, to me, this is still just great. How with one of the things I heard from somebody is like, why are we spending money on this? And one of the guys that was part of the deal goes, well, the powers that be think that these are more of a threat to us than Mars is.
well, Mars does attack, just so you know.
Oh, what a fantastic movie. Love Mars attacks. No doves.
So there you go. So to more serious things. So part of the reason I'm off of Reddit is so they had a whole Atlantic article, which actually was really good, and it said, "Is it misinformation or amplified propaganda?" And honestly, I think a lot of it is amplified propaganda. They throw the misinformation out, and then they just let the masses amplify that, so it becomes amplified propaganda. They don't do it; they let the nutters do it.
Right. They well, like anything, the snowball you start at the top of the hill is this big.
Yes.
And as
Yes.
it continues to roll, and that's really what it is. Everybody takes it and adds their little piece. Telephone game.
It is. It is. And then we end up with, I mean, the misinformation right now, the troll farms, the foreign influence is just become crazy. And see, that's just it. It's like I would rather dig into things that are real investigative journalism, research papers, things like that. I don't need clickbait headlines. I'm over it. Because they're just looking to manipulate you and make you angry, and I'm tired of it. So
I still want to know what keeps Randy Jackson's bowels so clean with all that lemon juice in a pot.
Dave asking the important questions.
That's the clickbait I keep on hovering over. I'm not going to do it, Randy.
Yeah, you are eventually. So anyway, remember Chris Abley?
Yes.
Do you remember that historic mansion he bought?
Yes.
Do you remember how beautiful it was?
Yeah.
Do you remember the day he took it down?
No.
They took it down to the ground. There is nothing but a lot. Well, guess what? That lot is now up for sale for $2.6 million. So he was not on the National Historic Register, but it was a historic mansion built by, some of the, illustrious people who built Milwaukee. And it's gone now. And it's, so, douchebag.
He's out now of politics, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's doing he's on the board of some whatever. But apparently maybe he's moving out of Milwaukee, because why the hell would you buy that, take it down, and then leave?
Investment.
Yeah. So anyway, so you got the 91, or you got the 411 on the 10 digits.
411 on the 988,
yes.
Which is 10-digit dialing. Yes. Who isn't doing this already?
I am. I always do. And my husband's like, "Oh, should I dial the 262 or the 414?" And I'm like, "No, you got to dial it."
Yeah, but the thing, everything I've got in my phone is all got that in front of it. I always ask, if someone asks me, I go 414. I don't just give them my last 7 numbers. You know what I mean? It's like...
I live too close to the Waukesha County line, and I think Waukesha is 262. So, yeah.
I remember one time I was out of town in Minnesota, I think. Maybe it was even South Dakota or something. But I picked up the phone and dialed the house to talk to the family, because I was out of town. And this guy answers. And I'm like, "Hello?" And I'm like, "Oh, who's this?" And he goes, "What do you mean, who's this?" And I go, "Who's this?" I'm like, my brain is just like screaming at me, like, why did the guy just answer? And I just, and then he hung up. And then he hung up, and I was like sitting there processing it. I'm like, oh, I didn't dial the area code.
How long ago was this?
Yeah. Oh, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, the phone in the hotel. So, I just dialed it up, wherever we were at, 303 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Oh my god. All right. Well, Dave is going, rather than having a senior moment, he's going to have a MoKE moment. What do you got to talk to us about today, Dave?
All right. So we had an article or on TV news where a guy had a shootout with people robbing him. Now you go and look at the video, and this guy ended up
Is this
getting
something
shot.
I saw? Is it something local?
Probably yes. The guy got shot in the leg, and they have I think ring or camera footage from like the garage.
Okay.
They were in their car in their driveway, looks like, and a guy comes up from the passenger side and opens the door to rob him. He talks about how he pulled a gun. That he
Who
saw
pulled
the
the
gun.
gun?
He saw the gun.
The victim or the
The guy
perpetrator?
getting robbed, the robbie.
The victim.
Yeah, victim, pulled his gun, and he was going to try to get the guy away, but he already saw that the gun was on his passenger, the woman's head. So he got out of the car apparently and was going to go around the back part of it, to get him from that side, not keeping her in between the two guns. Smart guy there. And then so he goes around to the back, and then he must have noticed another guy keeping lookout at the end of the road, because all of a sudden they exchange fire. You can't see the guy on the left because of the hedge, but all of a sudden he's shooting and he runs off, the guy with the gun. And so you what you fail to continue to see now is that they show more of the video. The guy that was robbing the girl continued to rob her. He didn't stop. He's like,
Oh my god.
cool,
So
cool.
she
The
had to turn
phone,
over like her purse and her
phone, and
valuables.
yeah, yes, and all that. The guy with the gun, he was out of there. Hightailing it. Getting shot. Now here's the thing. So if he'd have never pulled the gun in the first place, he'd have never gotten shot, because this guy wasn't shooting anybody. Even after they had gunfire and the guy ran off, he still kept his cool and robbed the lady. Oh, well, shit, I'm already wet. I'm already here. I ain't running off. The guy with the gun just hightailed it out of here. So, hey, your white knight shining armor, he's kicking ass down the street right now, honey. But this guy is all like playing the victim. And I'm thinking to myself, listen, if you hadn't pulled your gun, you wouldn't have gotten shot in the foot. No. And you also wouldn't have left your date or girlfriend or whoever it was
Or wife.
there alone with the criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What a hero there with a gun. Hero with a gun.
Well, and you hear these people say, "Oh, I have my gun. I got my concealed carry," and it's like, first of all, you don't know what you're going to do in that situation unless you've been trained, and generally, if you've been trained by the military or the police. And second of all, Milwaukee isn't dangerous enough to be carrying a gun around. I mean, if you're in areas where it's that dangerous, I've been in this city my entire life. I've gone down to Chicago, south side of Chicago, my entire life, never needed a gun. Somebody please explain to me why you need a gun unless you're going hunting.
Say for protection. Yeah, I understand that, but you never use it for that. Don't you understand? You never use it for protection.
Well, and you do self-defense classes, and they say your number one thing for self-defense is run!
Right. Right.
Scream and run. Those are the two things they tell you. They never say, well, hey, you need to take, 20 years of martial arts. You can beat the guy up. So,
Cobra Kai.
yeah, exactly. Sweep the leg. Dave's, am I reading this right? Does that say recycling again?
Well, first of all, I still want you to go get a video of the guys throwing the trash or recycling in the same trash bin. You got to get that, because we're going to expose this. All right.
Actually, I talked to my neighbor, and she said there are two sides to the thing, and that they do throw recycling in one side.
All right.
So.
Okay. All right. And then, but the second thing is, I'm sitting out in my car, getting something out of it because we're turning a room, and I see a woman walk out with a box, an Amazon box, and a long TV like box, and then a bag of garbage. So I'm watching her because I'm gonna like make sure she does everything right with those items,
Dave is
right?
the recycling police.
Right. So I'm just putzing around my back of my car, looking over there, looking over there, looking over there. Now, first thing she does is open up the recyclables and throw the garbage in there. Then she takes the
Whoops.
Amazon box that she hasn't broken down and throws that in the regular garbage. Then she takes the TV box and sticks it between the garbage and the fence on the side where it isn't in the garbage at all. So, lady, you, of all the things you could do here, you actually did all of them wrong. Everything you did
You
wrong.
had one job.
And you didn't, there were three chances to get one thing right, and you didn't do it. It just amazes me. And you even get bonus points because you didn't even put something in the garbage. So as she just starting to, as I see her put that in between and start to spin away, I start walking at her. No, 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 no. Who do you think's gonna put that box away? Big
How old is she?
30, I don't know, something, or I don't know, younger than me, old enough to know. How
Okay,
about that?
boomer.
You know, 30 something. And I just like, who do you think has to put that garbage away if you don't? Who do you think has to do that? You don't leave it outside. You don't leave garbage, and you break down your boxes. And this is recycling. See, look, come read. I almost wanted to. It was almost felt like I was taking a dog and putting it in the nose and the pee. Going look. It says recycle right here, right there. There's a word right there. Recycle.
Don't you guys have communication? Like, if you're having issues, don't you guys like do like a worksheet so people know what to do?
It's done everything. I got 99 problems and garbage is one.
99 problems and 98 of them are recycling.
Ah, so just again, people, just that's just the way it is. And I don't know how to make it any better, easier for people. It really can't. Just look sometimes. I even circled the no bag things on the outside of the garbage and pointed arrows at it. No bags, no bags.
Get off my lawn.
Gran Torino. All right, my see the shirt.
Yes. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
they're actually I think it's South African band. See, there is,
Okay. Yeah.
which is kind of fun because they actually their name, see, there is actually an old song. God, remember what were we talking? I couldn't remember the
Veruca
name.
Salt.
Veruca Salt, yes. Veruca's their name is taken from Willy
Veruca.
Wonka.
Yes. Veruca Salt is the girl in Willy Wonka.
Right, and that's what I was telling you. Remember, Seether did Seether, and we got to do a whole thing about the police doing police, that kind of stuff. Cars
Okay.
doing cars. I got to write that all up sometime.
Yes.
All right, so that's a great band. I really like them. They're harder, but they do a lot with alcohol addiction and redemptions
cool.
and things like that.
Nice.
So a lot of it speaks to me in that respect on them. But they recently chimed in, and this is where I'm going to go F1 on you, where I'm going to talk about something. You're going to have no idea who they are. But MGK, that's Machine Gun Kelly, all right? He actually had a record that he had a bunch of collaborations on, and Corey Taylor from Slipknot and was going to be on it, and he gave him a little thing to do. Well, he didn't end up doing it because he gave him a sample that he wanted, and then MGK wanted a little something different. He had all of a sudden something had come up, I think in the news, and he wanted his music to reflect that a little more, so he rewrote what he wanted him to do. And Corey Taylor's like, "No, that's cool, man. That's not really me. It doesn't feel like my stuff. I think it'd be better off for someone else. Good luck. Anything else on the album, or anything like that, let me know." Just like a brush off, like that. Just this, what you're
Okay.
asking me to do isn't my bag, But hey, more power to you. Sounds great. Work on. That's just creative difference, right? Well, enough is enough. And then I guess Corey brought it up in an interview. And so MGK shot back, well, you wasn't good enough to use anyway. One of those kind of things,
Oh,
you
geez,
know,
now there's
the
dissing.
tit for tat's coming. Here comes the tit for tat, the tat for the tit, Lido. And then then Corey hit back with, well, and now MGK has actually gone from like a rapper to a punk rocker.
Okay.
And then so now Corey Taylor and them are giving him hell for, some guy in his, it looked like a skater boy doing punk,
Okay.
now. And I'm just like, okay, listen, what are you worried about? This guy taking some of your fans? I mean, Slipknot and MGK are not the same people. All right. Now,
No.
also, let's all think about people reinventing themselves. All right. Corey Taylor has a band where he sings mellow songs, and he has a band that he wears a mask on, and they shout and scream in the mic. So it's talk about two different sides of a coin. And and I know, no matter what it is, musician, whatever, and we were just talking about it, you know, what you like and how far what you like is like all of a sudden, if they change the next album, you go, oh, I like their old stuff. I don't like
Yeah.
their
Well, see,
change.
that's
And
that's
and, and
just
if
it.
you
Yeah.
if you keep hearing the same album, he goes, oh, he's this old album, new album sounds just like the last
Yeah. It
album.
sounds
He
like the
doesn't
last
do
three
any
albums. Oh,
changes.
why should I buy
Right.
it? Yep.
Exactly. So I give a guy who wants to go and do it. And if you got fans that'll follow you and pay to listen to it, and you can play in front of a crowd, more power to you. But then they even went to some festival, and Slipknot fans were dissing MGK, and he goes, "Yeah, I guess I could be a 50-year-old guy on stage wearing a Halloween mask, because that's
Oh,
what Slipknot
geez.
does." So there's still a little tit for tat going on. And then even like a couple other band guys, and even the guy from Seether chimed in and said something to the effect of, when they were booing him at this festival, he goes, "Yeah, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for what you did to MGK." He was kind of like thanking him for booing him. You know, it's a difference right now between pop rock and rockers.
Yeah.
Is what it is now. So not all rappers get to do the dissing and have the beefs and all that. There's some beefs in rock and roll too.
Actually, there's a lot of beef in rock and roll.
Yeah, McCartney just opened up on Rolling Stones. Still calling them a great blues cover band.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's really coming out with some stuff now. And then he also was dissing how it wasn't him who broke up the Beatles, and I'm like, because everybody thought it was him, and I go, no, I never thought it was you.
I thought it was Yoko.
Yeah, I always thought it was John and Yoko. Yeah, Yoko was so how he needed to come out and make himself relevant about that again.
Okay,
Jeez,
well,
Paul,
I know
go
he's getting
home.
old.
Yeah, Paul,
And
goodbye.
that wonderful Christmas time song, which is the worst Christmas song ever.
Having a wonderful,
And Dave's
wonderful
singing again.
Christmas time. Oh gosh, we got another 3 days before that starts hitting
Yeah,
airwaves.
no. I think we got the week.
Uh, no, like I said, last week I put a picture on Facebook. The Halloween stuff is already in the boxes, and the Christmas stuff is out.
Well, yeah, clearly because Brittany's got her tree up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm.
Anyhow, are you done? Are
Yes,
we gonna move on to hip happenings?
we're moving on.
All right, hip happenings. All right, so I got a thing I'm going to do Saturday, but this is going through October 30th on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. It actually started earlier this month. Called Gleam. It is a light installation, art installation in the evenings at the Albrecht Gardens in Madison. That goes through October 30th. Speaking of Christmas, getting to jump on Noel, which is going to be an indoor light park, which I thought was super cool, at the State Fair Expo Center, November 27th through January 2nd. So it's like the whole
Wow.
holiday season. NoelMilwaukee.com for more info and pricing. They've got like
Doom,
some
doom,
different tiers of
doom, doom,
pricing.
doom,
So
doom,
yeah.
doom. Just put on
Okay.
your great best, Pink Floyd music and walk through that thing. Yeah.
There you go. All right, you got a movie
Milky Way
thing.
movies
Is that
at
outdoors?
yeah, ballpark in Franklin. Right? I think in their must be in their parking lot. I think
Oh,
they put up a
cool.
big screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some of them are kid friendly, some of them not so much. So you gotta watch which
Okay,
ones
so
you're
is that
going
at the
to.
Rock?
It's at the ballpark there at 76 and Ross. And is that
Yeah,
the
that's the
Rock
Rock.
too?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So they must have a different division of it they're calling now because it really didn't make itself like it was.
Right.
Although I thought it kind of was, but I didn't know if they had a different thing. So but yeah, so some of them very very scary, some of them are fun. So just and there's early shows and late shows, and they go Thursday through Sunday for the next 2 weekends.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah, I used to love
yeah.
the outdoor theater.
Oh gosh, yes, that was hella fun. Packing everybody in on a warm night, and you just ran around all the cars and just.
Yep. And then you got another one here.
Well, this I couldn't click on it to learn more because you had to join and all, and I wasn't going to join. Give away all my information to just to understand a little more. But I
Oh, okay.
thought this is something to look for. I want to look at this more. The Starved Rock camping trip. It's actually the and I didn't go. It was a school. Did it go? Did I lose that part? Yeah, it's a school that was doing it. Shoot, like MU or something like that. Gosh, where did I lose that now on there? Um, but it was like for $55, you get to go to the Starved Rock State Park in Oldsby, Illinois, for a weekend of camping, campfires, and activities. They hike, they boulder, more transportation, gear, and meals were included for
Oh,
$55.
that's pretty cool. And that's just over the border, pretty much.
Yeah. But I think it was like MU doing it or something like that, which is like, and it didn't say anything like you had to be a student, and that's what I couldn't get into find
Ah,
out or
okay.
anything like
All
that.
right.
But I thought, well, $55 for a camping overnight, that with food, and you don't have to bring the tent with you. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Just
if you
bring
just
the air
want to get a
mattress.
taste of that, it's nice having a group.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
cool. And
Yeah.
then Dave brings us our pearl of wisdom.
Yes. Did you see that? This
I
came
did
out of
not see
the
that, so you have to.
Joe Rogan, who
Who I have no love for at all.
I think he's a confused individual saying things he's confused about out loud too
Talk
early
about the
sometimes.
misinformation becoming amplified propaganda.
Right. He brings up the misinformation. They don't hear the response. They just hear the misinformation,
That's right.
and that's where it all starts from. But I think he tries to ask questions and tries to understand. And
No, I think
sometimes the
he's
donkey
doing
doesn't
leading
let you, yeah,
questions.
yeehaw, yeehaw, doesn't let you eat, hear it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dr. Sanjay was on his show for 3 hours. They
Oh,
talked.
poor Sanjay.
No, he actually saw the article about this thing he wrote. He wrote it. The doc wrote an article about the interview after the fact, saying he wasn't about what he wanted to do to change Joe Rogan's mind. He wanted to figure out why Joe Rogan thinks that way, and that's the root of it. Like anything,
Okay,
why
so
do you
what is
think
the
the way
pearl
you
of
do?
wisdom?
All right. What he first started with him was the free will of your fist ends where my nose begins. And that's these people that sit around and always talk about well, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Yes, but you're not free. That doesn't mean freedom from repercussions. you
Oh,
know
well, those people don't get that part of it.
yeah, just because you're doing free speech doesn't mean someone isn't going to clock you for it.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
So that's the same thing, that your free will ends where my nose begins. So when your free will harms me, and this is what everybody basically always knows, listen, have as much free will, have everything you want to do yourself, as long as it doesn't infringe on my rights. Have all the rights you want, as long as you don't infringe on my rights. And people just don't understand that part.
They don't. They don't get that part. All right. Well, we're at the end of our show. We'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners. Sorry if the sound and the video are not synced up. Dave's mom, my friend Pat. We have Shadesy. We have Chrissy, Marianne, anybody from work, and anybody who stumbled across us randomly. If you
Thank you
talk
for
to
listening.
people and they talk to
Talk to
people
people, and they
and
talk
they
to
talk
people,
to
and they talk
people.
to people, and
That's
they talk.
right.
And
And
pretty soon we get to 100.
we get to 100 or 22, whatever works. And we'll become internet famous. We already are internet famous. I mean, seriously, we're rock stars here. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, hip.or.critical. You can tweet me over.
I'm just basking in Alexa's glow all
Yeah,
as much as I can.
and you can do the MoKE Milwaukee Facebook page, and Dave's basking in something. So we love you, Milwaukee. Stay safe.
Woo!
Dave's.
What am I leaving with you?
I don't know.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging you, please don't take my man.
And Dave's singing.
Listen to the Nas X version and also a Dolly's slowed down version of that. They're great.
Okay, Dolly's
Bye.
amazing. All right, bye everybody. We love